Well, good morning, and welcome back to our pilgrimage through the summer. Today is day 18 at the Institute for Priestly Formation, and of course, across the world, today is Thursday in the 10th week of Ordinary Time. Today, the two programs that we have on campus continue to unfold with a deepening in their classroom experience. The 12 priests who are on campus for the training in spiritual direction are today begin to really move into the heart of spiritual direction, which is what we call a contemplative attitude. What is that? A contemplative posture. It's where we are open to the transcendent. We're open to something bigger than ourselves. We pay attention to not just the surface thoughts, feelings, and desires, but we begin to become aware of God. We begin to become aware of the transcendent. And so we perhaps interiorly are more recollected, paying attention to the interior movements of the heart that come from God. And because we don't necessarily have that conditioned in our life by our culture, we do spend a lot of time at the beginning helping them understand that the directee and the director have to have a contemplative attitude. You have to notice what's happening in your spiritual life if you're going to be able to talk about the things in your spiritual life. So that's what's happening with the priests who are in the spiritual direction training program. The seminarians are in class, of course. The afternoon class will begin to introduce them to what we call the 5 benchmark identities of the diocesan priesthood. That every priest is a beloved son. He is, of course, a spiritual father. He is a chaste spouse. He is a spiritual physician, and he is a good shepherd. So those 5 benchmark identities is really what a priest wants to grow into. All 5 of those things: a son, a spouse, a father, a physician, and a shepherd. In the morning class, the seminarians will really be presented with St. Joseph as the model for their celibacy, the way that he loved Mary, and Mary as an icon of the church. Therefore, as the priest gives himself to the church, it is St. Joseph who is the model for him of how to love the church by the way that he loved Mary. So St. Joseph is his model. That's really important because I think a lot of seminarians and of course with that a lot of priests look to other priests or other seminarians as their models. And if those priests or seminarians have lived celibacy well, then they have a good model. If they haven't done well, if they've been surrounded by priests who have not lived that well, whether it's any aspect of their priesthood, I think the seminarians can struggle. And so what we do is we try to reorient them to a healthier model that regardless of how well the priests around them, those who inspired them, those who that they serve under, if those priests have lived their priesthood well in every regard, it's important that they have a better model, a saintly model, and Joseph is the model. And so if you were at IPF today, I think we'd probably have a long conversation with you about your models. Who's modeling for you what life is about? You know, we're all at different seasons in life. Some of us are, as listening today, you're in school, and as you look at your life, you perhaps are modeling your expectations on the people who are closest to you, like your parents, and they're the model of what success looks like, or they're the model of what discipleship looks like. For some of us who are on maybe the other end of life, you're in your retired years, you have your own model of what life is supposed to look like. Maybe it's from your parents who lived before you, or maybe other people who are in their retired season. But here's the thing: every one of us, we whether we know it or not, are influenced by the people who model for us what we strive for. Let me give you an example. Just as a kid, I used to love to play basketball. And so how did I learn how to play basketball? Well, I just got out there on the court, and my oldest brother, Prosper, was 6 years older than me, and so I looked to him as the model. And he was the one who modeled for me what a good basketball player was. I looked to him. My basketball game was very much influenced by the way that he played his basketball game. I began to watch more and more TV as a kid, and I used to love watching college basketball. And I would watch the way that particular players played basketball, and I would try to play like them. They were my models of what it meant to be a good basketball player. The same is true in life, and the same is true in the spiritual life. We we look to people who will model for us what holiness looks like, or what life looks like, what success looks like, what being a mom or dad looks like, what it looks like to be successful. We all have models. And a lot of those models are people that are around us naturally. What we're trying to do in class today is like transcend the imagination of the seminarian so that they begin to look to the saints as their models. Now, a lot of times we back away from that. We erroneously believe that God's calling maybe some people like St. Joseph or the Blessed Mother to be a saint, but, a lot of times we can believe, I'm just trying to get through life. I mean, I don't want to be canonized as saints. I just want to get through the today. And here's the truth. Like, God is calling you and me to nothing less than canonization, nothing less to sainthood. Like, God desires nothing more than the fullness of our life. And if we're just trying to get by, if you and I are just trying to get through today, then who are we looking to as our models of what life is all about? Probably other people who are just trying to get through today. And so, like, it's just a good question for us of, like, who's your model? Who shows you what you want your life to look like? Who illustrates that for you? And the church has given us the saints. Let us not back away from desiring to live like them and with them. Let us not back away from living the life that God wants for you. Let's not settle today. Who models for you where you want to be in life? Good question for us to ponder, to pray with, and to ask God to show us what He desires for our life. Let's keep praying for each other. Let's enjoy the pilgrimage this summer. And let's ask God to show us today who models for you what He desires for you. God bless you.